Welcome into Eye on Northeast Kansas, the podcast. This is where we recap some of the top guests you saw on Eye on Northeast Kansas, the TV show. I am your host, Melissa Bruner. We bring you Eye on Northeast Kansas, 4 o'clock Central Time, Monday through Friday, live from our WIBW TV studios in Topeka, Kansas. You can also watch it streaming on WIBW.com. It has been a very exciting day all around Northeast Kansas and Missouri and really across the country as we gear up for Super Bowl Sunday. The Kansas City Chiefs are back in the big game for the 4th time in the past 5 years. They are trying to win back-to-back championships. So a lot of our team has been focused on really just the excitement surrounding the Chiefs and the big game. And of course, all of that coverage you can see on WIBW.com. It's been a lot of fun. But meantime, we have been tackling a lot of other topics on Eye on Northeast Kansas with our guests in the studio. We've been looking ahead with Shawnee County to the spring and summer months. A lot has been happening. They also have an eye on a key issue at the State House that county leaders believe could help bring some property tax relief locally. Shawnee County Commissioner Aaron Mays visited to update all of that. Summer's fun. So let's talk about that first because it's February, but you are already looking to fill summer positions in Shawnee County.
Yeah, we're already hiring lifeguards and concession workers and camp counselors and all of that type of thing right now.
The pool would freeze over this time of year.
No, Jeremy just said it's 60 degrees outside. It's beautiful today. Probably still a little too cold to swim, but we do all of our lifeguard training indoors. So hopefully
you're ready for it.
Yeah, we'll be ready for it.
What has Shawnee County been able to do? Because several years ago, there were some issues with keeping pools open because of staffing situations. What has Shawnee County done to be able to fill those positions, not just the lifeguards, but also all those summer camp positions that are so important to actually make the camps run?
Yeah, well, number one, we've raised the wage. So the starting wage is $10 an hour, and we also hire as young as 15 years old now. So we can get people in the door, get them trained up and on the job as soon as possible.
How many positions?
We've got about 200 lifeguard positions.
And you've got them posted now? Oh, that's just lifeguards. You've got more than that.
They're on the website. Yeah, we've got about 35 concession workers. And I'm not really sure how many camp counselors, but I know it's quite a few.
Quite a few. And is registration open for those camps yet, or when does that start?
Okay, so summer camps, registration opens March 5th. And so if you're a parent in Shawnee County, you know that it's tough to get into some of those camps.
Right.
And so March 5th is the day that they open up. You make sure you get in, check the calendar in advance, make sure you've got those weeks blocked off and get in while you can.
snco.us is Shawnee County's website where all of that information is posted.
Exactly right.
And speaking of summer and lifeguards, you have a big date set now, something official with the Oakland pool.
Yeah, so we have finally arrived to the point of construction on the Oakland pool. And so we have a groundbreaking next Thursday, the 15th at 1:30 p.m. at the Oakland Community Center, where we are going to start the construction process on that pool.
So that is a big step, but what does it mean for the people who live there? There's been some kind of back and forth on whether you might be able to get it open for at least part of the season or whether you totally have had to wipe the season out.
So we've kind of gone back and forth. At one time, we even thought we might be able to keep the old pool open while the new one's under construction. Turns out that's kind of a safety hazard. So we will be opening the pool next summer, but it'll be a little bit later than all the other pools. Okay. So we're looking for a July completion date so we can have that pool open at least for the hottest part of the summer.
Well, we'll knock on wood that there's good weather to cooperate with all of the construction that would happen. Something also you guys are watching is the state legislature. There are a lot of things that happen at the state level that impact what you can do at the county level. We're starting to hear talk about what's called the local ad valorem tax. And this is something that had been kind of passed through to cities and counties many, many years ago. Then there was a budget issue and it kind of went away.
Yes.
Cities and counties have wanted it to come back. It has not come back. What's happening with it this year? And why are you making the argument that it's about time to bring it back?
So the LAVTR, as we call it, it's a reduction fund that's designed to give local government a little bit of the state's sales tax. And that's primarily because most local governments don't really get a lot of sales tax, if any at all. And it is designed to reduce property taxes, which we keep hearing over and over from our citizens that that's the number one tax they want to get rid of. People hate property taxes. This is one way that the legislature can lower property taxes. Unfortunately, even though it is a law on the books in Kansas, they've not funded that for a long time. Now, the state is in a really good financial position right now, and I believe their surplus is over $3 billion. We think that the municipal governments and county governments, we think it's time that they give some of that money back to the local governments where it belongs so that we can lower property taxes.
What's the argument, though? Because some people would say, well, if they give it back to the local governments, then they're going to have to raise something somewhere else, or it prevents them from doing a reduction elsewhere.
I don't believe that to be the case. I think the state government has plenty of money right now. They could probably afford to do this. And it is a current law. They've just chosen not to fund it.
So this isn't even something that is a bill that gets a hearing. This is something that has to be as they progress through their budget discussions this year.
Correct.
And when do you get to testify on this and tell them and make this argument?
Well, I'll take that last statement back. There was a hearing.
Okay.
Senate Tax had a hearing at the very beginning of session.
Okay.
And so far nothing's happened with it. So we're hoping that it gets put into the appropriations bill.
All right, we will keep following those discussions. And again, snco.us has all of the information on the summer camp applications that are going to start to open, as well as those job applications that are already posted. Think now about the summer jobs.
Yep.
Commissioner Mays, appreciate you being here as always. Thank you.
Thank you.
snco.us, again, is where you find the county's job listings as well as information on registering for summer camps when that opens. And we will be keeping an eye on that local ad valorem tax issue as it makes its way through the legislature. A youth summit is coming up in the capital city. This is a good way to spend some time for young people learning various skills on becoming the better you. That's the theme. Regina Platt, Brenda Wood, and Kevin Wilson all visited Ion Northeast Kansas to talk about it. This is very, very fun. And Regina, it starts with the Topeka Center for Peace and Justice. So what is the theory behind sponsoring this day targeted to high schoolers?
When we look at the impacts of gun violence, the heightened level of suicide attempts that have happened within the community, we made a choice to step out and partner with an organization that's already doing the work throughout the nation to come together and speak life into our young people.
And so, Brenda, that's where you come in, becoming the best you that you can be. So what sort of a day do you put together for the high schoolers?
You know, we have something for everybody. We have the dancing trucker coming in. He's TikTok famous, and he is anti-bullying, so he's going to talk about that. He's a real big guy. He's all tatted up, so you would not expect what comes out of him. And then we have Dr. Ruben West, who is actually from Topeka. He will be coming in. We have Kevin Wilson, myself, Dr. Platt, several people. We have almost, I'm going to say 4 flying in from East Coast coming in to kind of give them, oh man, what I want to say is it's just spectacular on making the right choices.
What is the common theme between all these people that you're bringing together? The common theme and the message that they're presenting?
You are unique. You have a value. You have a worth right where you are right now. That's what we're going to talk about. That's
an amazing message. Kevin, how does your presentation play into that theme?
You know, it's funny because I'm kind of an eclectic because I do teach martial arts, I teach personal finance, but it's really, that's what Brenda said is that I love it because we're really talking about being the best versions of ourselves. And that means something different to all of us. You know, some of us are at this level trying to get this level, others are here trying to get to here. So what we come and do is try to speak, what I love to do is speak on a general concept, but with some specificity on what we can do just to be better versions of ourselves. So we're gonna rock the house. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna be engaging and entertaining.
And how do you become engaging and entertaining for people who may not be, they don't think they're fans of martial arts?
Sure, yeah, you know, I mean, it's funny thing because again, I teach personal finance, and everybody that's always taken my class is always like, I took this because I felt like I should, you know, and then they finish, the best compliment as I get is they go, that was so powerful, so engaging, so relatable, I really enjoyed it. We're all faced with choices in our lives that sometimes they're hard choices and they're boring choices. We have to figure out ways to make them engaging and entertaining and exciting. And that's what we do. That's what we do. We bring that energy, we bring a different shift, a mindset that we can look through a different lens on just trying to be the best versions of ourselves and not necessarily, sometimes we color outside the lines just a little bit.
And when you present, Regina, what do you call yourself? You have a unique title.
The stepologist.
What does that mean? That you're dancing or what?
So no, it's the study of your own steps. Like I assist others in grabbing hold of their steps and in living their best life. So the authenticity of you being you when you come into a space, that's the difference that makes the difference. And so we celebrate that.
Sometimes it's literal dance steps. Sometimes it's not, right? How do you guys reach out to the high schoolers, particularly since this is on a weekday and during the day? How have you been able to reach out to the high schools to convince them to allow their students to take part?
Phone calls, emails, door knocking, showing up in person, explaining who's coming, why we're doing it, and just letting them know that we're here to help. It's not about making money. We have sponsorships that are paying for most of this. We have sponsors such as We Do That, Center for Peace and Justice, Big Bob's Outlet in Kansas City, numerous places, because they want to see our future.
Absolutely, and it is only $20 and includes lunch, and so students should talk to their teachers, their counselors. I'm sure you've already got some groups who are going to be coming in of students. The Topeka Youth Summit by the Topeka Center for Peace and Justice, Becoming the Better You. It's for 9th to 12th graders, 9:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday, February 13th at the Topeka Performing Arts Center. Again, $20 includes lunch. ComeChangeYourLife.com is the website. I love the name of that website. And this is also in partnership. There is an organization that's helping to sponsor as well.
You have the Topeka Center for Peace and Justice, the City of Topeka. Who else do we have?
YMCA.
YMCA. I mean, they're coming in. So if you would like to be a sponsor, we look forward to you contacting us and you sowing a seed for our youth.
Getting the kids in for more information always is great. Everyone needs to know that positive message. Appreciate you all being here. Have a great event in a couple weeks. Even if you can't make the summit, visit their website, ComeChangeYourLife.com, or just Google Becoming the Better You. Very interesting topics there. And it's just one item, one thing that is offered by the Topeka Center for Peace and Justice throughout the year for people. They have programs for people of all ages, so really check out what they all have to offer. We're continuing our focus at WIBW TV on mental health awareness. We're calling the campaign Hear Me, See Me, and we welcomed S.J. Hazim to the studio. He is on the board of directors for NAMI Kansas, and he shared a bit of the personal journey that led him to become an advocate for mental health awareness. Welcome to you. Thanks for being here.
It's good to be here. I like to be here.
You do.
I should be here more.
You should. I mean, and sometimes you wear red shoes that match the red couch and the red chairs, and we appreciate that. But we appreciate you being, there it is, there it is. We appreciate you being here today to talk about mental health. And this is something, you kind of had a journey to getting involved with NAMI. I always say Cliff Notes version. The short story is what? What's been your mental health journey?
I've dealt with mental health issues since the late 90s. I've been on a medication regimen and had some inpatient stays even during some of those late 90s times. Been off medication since, I'll say 1999. And I know some people still have to be on it, but I've been fortunate. I've learned a lot of positive coping skills. And a lot of that is art, music, and expression. And I got tied in with NAMI Kansas from a lady named Stacy Liddon, who came to an Authentic Expressions poetry reading that we had. And one of the poems I shared was one of my most revealing poems, and she saw mental health issues wrote all over it. So they sent an email and seen if I was interested in being the honorary chair of the NAMI Walk of 2023. And from that, I was asked to be a board member. And from that, they asked me to be the vice president of NAMI Kansas. So
why did it take so long for you to decide to be open with your story and to tell people about it?
The stigma. Because once you say something, like it took a long time for me to even say out of my mouth mental illness, because NAMI is National Alliance of Mental Illness. I couldn't say it out of my mouth. I wanted to say mental health and everything, because when you say mental illness, that's exactly that, right? But maybe we should say it more. We sugarcoat things so much. And maybe we just need to call things what they are sometimes. And if you're able to navigate past that or whatever, but there's just a stigma when you have a high level of ranking in the community or whatever, and then you come out and say you got mental health issues. It's like they won't trust you anymore.
What has been the response to you sharing your story?
I get a lot of messages and people who talk to me in private and things like that. There's a lot of other people who share things with me, even high-level ranking people who let me know that they have mental health issues, but there's no way they're going to tell anybody else.
When you think about your experience and the experience of people of color and of the Black community, what are the additional factors at play?
Well, first of all, there's trust issues. And we even have that just in the Black community itself, even without the mental health, is the trust issues. Am I going to get taken advantage of? Is this going to happen or whatever? But in the household, we didn't really talk about it. There's all kind of mental health things that run in families, but we don't talk about them because we're not. I think that my parents didn't talk about it or anything like that. It's just one of those things to where you got to get up and go. You know, you got to make a living. We don't got time to think about that you're depressed. You know, there ain't no reason for you to be depressed because you don't got no bills. You don't got this. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Get out the bed. You know, so it's like a lot of times we don't have the luxury for that. And you know, growing up, we never even had health insurance. So I mean, 8 kids. My grandmother lived with us. We had 11 kids in just a 1-story, 3-bedroom house where all 5 of us boys stayed in the garage. You know, so my dad had said it was a remodeled garage, right? But no, wasn't the case.
There's some stories there, I'm sure, just from growing up with that group in your family. How has NAMI Kansas been working, and how are you working to advocate to make sure that resources that are out there are inclusive, that the message is inclusive? Because certainly some of the things that you talk about are themes that aren't necessarily unique to one ethnicity, to one culture. I mean, the quietness kind of exists everywhere, but you're right with the trust issue. There historically has been that trust there. So how are you working through NAMI Kansas to address and make sure those resources are available and that everybody knows those resources are for them? They're not just for one particular set of people.
I just keep it on my lips all the time. I say if you love something, it should be on your lips. You should talk about it because we're not doing anybody any favors if we're the head of something or the vice president of something. We don't talk about it, and nobody knows that this is something. Like I told someone about NAMI Kansas. And they were like, well, I've never heard of that before. And I told them a lot of different things about it, that how they can, you know, get resources and stuff. And I think it's about us sharing so people can know more about it. NAMI wants to become a household name. That's the goal. So I have a big mouth. I run it a whole lot. So I talk about it and I want to continue to talk about it. But NAMI is what made me feel protected because there's different things. Like I said, I lost a job here that I worked for almost 14 years, Fortune 500 company, and I was FMLA protected. But there's loopholes in the law. So I want some laws to change. So that was another reason I got involved in NAMI.
Well, speaking of sharing, we have launched a companion podcast to the Hear Me, See Me project. You can find it where podcasts are, and SJ and I have a much longer conversation sharing your story. It's very enlightening. I encourage you to go listen to it. And if you'd like some resources, find out how to contact NAMI Kansas. Go to WIBW.com/HearMeSeeMe, SJ. We appreciate you always.
Well, I appreciate you as well, and thanks for having me.
You bet. We'll see you back here. It's always good to catch up with SJ, and really that's just a short snippet of our conversation. We've launched a companion podcast for the Hear Me, See Me project. It is called Hear Me, See Me. Spoke with SJ for about 25 minutes where he really dives into his story. I know I learned a few things, and it really is something worth a listen, folks, on being able to empower yourself and change your life, really, and move forward once you know what's kind of going on with you. So give a listen to that. Search Hear Me, See Me podcast for that conversation with SJ Hazim. Topeka Metro is marking a milestone when it comes to a new service that it's been offering. They started it about a year ago. David Oliver filled in for me one day this week. Carrie Renner from Topeka Metro came over and gave an update on how that program is going.
Carrie, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, before we talk about Stuff the Bus, let's talk about the 1-year anniversary of MOD. And this is a great program to give folks a mode of transportation over in Southeast Topeka, kind of on demand.
Yes, yes. It's a rideshare program, microtransit. A lot of people may not know what microtransit is, but it's just, you know, it's still transportation, and you know, we say that it's the only way that some people understand it is like Uber, but believe me, we're much less expensive.
You are $2 a ride is what
you're
charging.
$2 each way. You pay cash. If you get on the bus and give it to the bus operator, but you can also use a debit or credit card. And the way that you pay for that is either on the app or on the website.
Okay, so you can actually kind of schedule a ride with MOD.
Oh yes, it's very easy.
Yeah.
That's the thing that people love about it. And when we started it, we hadn't had an app like that before. And so really a majority of people are using the mobile app, which is wonderful.
And that targets the Southeast Topeka area, folks in
Correct.
that area who live over there, and it only goes to areas over there, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, the boundary is the zone that we call it is from north, which is I-70, East would be Croco. South would be the Turnpike.
Okay.
And then it'd go to Topeka Boulevard.
Okay. So again, $2 a ride. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
You're about to maybe hopefully get across the 5,000 rider threshold with
Yes,
this, right?
we actually have.
You already have. Okay.
Yes,
All
we
right.
have. Yeah, our anniversary was January 30th of last year, and so we hit our 5,000th rider, I believe, maybe 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So
That's great.
We haven't contacted the person yet.
Okay.
So, but yeah, we're really excited about that. So it's just really gone well. It just keeps growing and growing. It's pretty amazing.
Obviously, there's a need for it.
If you want more information on the service, visit Topeka Metro's website. And if you're outside the area and you just want to kind of learn a bit more about just how it works, see if it's something you can ask about starting in your local community, give it a look. They'd be happy to let you know more about it. A little fun this week as well. Couture for Cancer is celebrating its 20th anniversary. This is a fundraiser that I have been involved in since year 2. The very first one, my co-anchor at the time was the MC. I got involved the following year, and I have been hooked ever since. This is a unique fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. We call it Combining Fashion with Compassion, and it is so fun. Stephanie Wider joined us along with one of the chairs, Julie Thomas, and they gave us our first look into this year's event.
Thank you.
I'm excited. I messaged you earlier, Stephanie, and I was like, when is the auction open? Not quite yet.
February 23rd.
February 23rd.
Yes.
For those who aren't familiar with Couture for Cancer, what is all involved in this event?
Well, Couture for Cancer is a special event because it combines fashion with compassion, and it's a live and silent auction. And then we also have a runway show which features all cancer survivors that are modeling clothes from either national designers or from local boutiques.
And it is a very inspiring part of the evening, absolutely. Julie, what is planned for the 20th year? What is making this so special that you are in charge of?
Well, we'll have a champagne wall again this year. We have a number of items that we have that has been donated to us. As for what's special,
We have our Louis Vuitton raffle.
oh yes, the Louis Vuitton is always such a big hit for everyone who are buying chances for that.
And you brought some of the things that are, these are actually going to be on the auction this year. What do we have?
Well, this bag, which Julie is lovingly referring to it as K-State.
We're remaining
Lavender,
neutral
yes.
on KUK State Day, but it
But
is the
this-
lavender.
It's by Lottie Vidney.
Okay.
And they have donated for a number of years. It's a leather bag. It'll be a great bag for spring, a great carry-all bag.
And right in front, this is, I said, is that a necklace sitting on top of a clutch? But no, that's the handle for the clutch.
Yes,
You
this
kind of
is
carry it like that.
Exactly. This is donated by Alexis Bitar. It is a beautiful bag, and the photographs of it online are spectacular. And then, of course, we know how much you love a great pair of sunglasses.
Yes.
And so I had to bring these. These are Oliver Peoples sunglasses.
So the joke is, and I will put them up, the joke is that I can never, I look silly in any kind of sunglasses I ever put on my face. But you have told me
No.
that I look okay in these.
You do. And
Our
that-
other guests say I look like I'm ready for a guest shot in Men in Black. But they're these are Oliver Peoples, you
Yeah,
said?
those are Oliver Peoples, and it's a universal frame, and
I
so
don't
they
look
say
crazy.
that it looks great on all types of
Okay.
faces. So there you go. It does look very nice on
And
you.
also, what are those little like tubes?
Oh, this is by Boom. It's a cosmetic line. They donated a number of years ago, and then they've returned to us this year, so we are super excited.
Yeah.
It's for the more mature skin.
Thank you for not saying. It's for you, Melissa, when you get, as you age. And then you've got these fun little bracelets.
Roxanne Asselin, and these are bracelets that are fantastic in the spring and summer. They go with everything. I really love this in particular because it's this big chunkier bracelet in the middle with these smaller ones, and they've got a little gold bar right in the middle of those.
They would go with a lot of different colors. And then you've got another little bracelet here.
Yes, and that's by Allure. And that
Got a little bling on it.
Yes, it's got a little diamond center here. And again, they have donated to us for a number of years as well. So,
And we've got a little bit of video that we want to show because this has a little bit of the runway show from last year. When you think, Julie, about this event and why it's so important and what makes it so special, what does this all support?
It supports anything. It's for Couture for Cancer, and it has
Just all the various American Cancer Society programs.
correct. And we also have an ask this year that is for
access to care.
access to care. So we provide rides, we provide coupons or
Gas cards.
gas cards. Yes, thank
A
you.
lot of
housing,
very important
yes.
things. And
Yes.
Couture for Cancer, ladies, you can get your tickets now. It's the 20th annual event, 4 to 7 p.m. Saturday, March 2nd at Townsite Ballroom in downtown Topeka. I say ladies, but gentlemen may attend. Anyone can attend, but it is a really fun girls' night out as well. Couture2024.givesmart.com. Okay, and you don't have to have a ticket to bid, right? Okay, so
Correct.
when
You
does
do
the
not.
online bidding open for the silent auction items?
February 23rd.
February 23rd. So get
Yes.
signed up now.
Yes.
Because it's going to be fun.
We've sold out of Uber and VIP tickets, and we are running close on reserve tickets. So that means we'd only have general admission tickets left. So if you're on the fence,
Get your tickets
get your
now.
ticket, because those swag bags are nice.
Yeah, they are. So you have to get those VIP tickets in order for the reserved in order to get
Reserved,
your swag
yes.
bag. Okay, very good. Stephanie, Jill, thank you so very much.
Thank
So
you.
Thank you.
exciting. Couture for Cancer is coming your way the first Saturday in March, so get a look at that. Couture2024.givesmart.com. Cannot wait for that to happen. Can't wait to have you back with us for more Eye on Northeast Kansas. If you want to check out the videos from these segments and all of the guests you see throughout the week, head to WIBW.com. You can find them all there. We also post them on our WIBW 13 News YouTube channel. Just search for that and hit subscribe while you are there as well. We'd love to have you see all the work that we're doing on 13 News. And if you want to see our studio selfies, the fun time we have, the smiling faces of all our guests, check out my Facebook page, WIBW Melissa Bruner. I'd love to have you follow along with all of our work. Thanks for being with us. And until next time, we'll see you on the Red Couch.